What is going on, everyone? This is Luke from South Beach Sports, and in today's video we're going to break down what was possibly the worst play in NFL history. And this play had consequences. If it wasn't for this safety, the Dolphins might have won, considering this game was tied going into overtime. So this play ended up having major consequences. We are going to break down the personnel and play call itself, which was horrible, and then we're going to talk about the execution and decision making on this play by Jacoby Brissett, which was either equally as bad or, if not worse, than the play call itself. Like always, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you do not miss a single video, and go ahead and comment down below if you think this was the worst play in NFL history. So the first thing I'm going to do is let this play run through without interruptions, and then we're going to head back to the pre-snap look of things and really take a deeper dive into this catastrophic play for the Miami Dolphins. So here we see pre-snap, the Dolphins are in an empty backfield look with four receivers out wide. They're also calling upon number 80, Adam Shaheen, to line up with the offensive lineman, possibly for pass protection purposes. And the way it appears right now, the Dolphins could be looking for some short developing route combination of sorts, something like a few slant routes, a few hitch routes, something that would be able to get some of these Dolphins receivers out in open space and just give themselves some breathing room as they're currently on their own 1 yard line. It's a little difficult to tell here, but the Raiders are currently showing zone coverage pre-snap. The ball is snapped and the Dolphins run a double smoke screen with Jalen Waddle and Salvon Ahmed, and I have two major problems with this play call. The first of which is the play call itself has two guys receiving or completing a pass in their own end zone. Like, that is a recipe for disaster if it goes terribly, and in the Dolphins' case, it did. And the second problem I have with this play call is part of an overarching issue that we've seen with the Dolphins play calling through 3 games, and that's the misuse of their offensive personnel. We've seen through these first 3 games, I think, the misuse of someone like Jalen Waddle. Waddle's obviously used as a big play threat and a deep threat at Alabama. He had something like a 19 or 20 yards per reception average while at Alabama, and at least what we saw in week 3, the Dolphins used Jalen Waddle in a very limited fashion. They had Waddle running a bunch of hitch routes, a bunch of screens, and he finished the game with only 58 yards off of a lot of receptions. I think he had 12 receptions, which I believe that 58 yards was the fewest amount of yards that a player with 12 receptions has ever had. And this overarching theme ties into this play because there are guys in the Dolphins roster like Jacoby Brissett and Malcolm Brown who excel in these first and 10 situations at your own goal line. Someone like Brissett could have performed a QB sneak for 1 or 2 yards. Someone like Malcolm Brown could have taken a halfback dive for 1 or 2 yards to just give the Miami Dolphins a little bit more breathing room to operate the rest of their offense. Instead, we see a complete misuse of the Dolphins personnel, and this causes the absolutely catastrophic safety. Last thing I'm going to mention about the play call before I get into Jacoby Brissett, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter talk about why Jacoby Brissett didn't just pass it to Salvon Ahmed, who looked open. You see Salvon Ahmed in the bottom of your screen, and I disagree with this just because it would have taken Jacoby Brissett a lot of time to rotate his entire body and complete a pass to Ahmed. The defensive back would have likely made a play on the ball in that scenario. One thing though, I mean, as you see Waddle and Ahmed lined up, and this is a little bit more situational awareness, which Waddle will improve at throughout his career. He's only in his 3rd game. You see Ahmed a little bit more cognizant of where he's at on the field, is lined up literally at the goal line, whereas Waddle is lined up about a yard or two into the end zone. So that's something that Waddle has to take into account throughout the rest of his career to have a little bit better situational awareness. Let's move on and talk about Jacoby Brissett's decision making here, because as I'm sure you guys have noticed by now, number 80, the tight end Adam Shaheen, is wide open in the middle of the field, like wide open. There is not an Oakland Raider within 5 yards of him. If Brissett just makes the simple pass to Shaheen here, then Shaheen might rack up some yards after catch, possibly enough for a first down. So the decision by Brissett to pass the ball into his own end zone and not to Shaheen, who was slipping into the middle of the field, is very questionable. And the most frustrating thing about all of this is that despite the horrible play call and despite the awful decision by Brissett to actually throw a ball to his receiver who was in his own end zone, this safety would have never happened if this pass was somewhat accurate. Brissett throws a pass that Waddle has to high point and jump to make the catch, to make the reception on. And you see here that when Waddle catches the ball, Casey Hayward, the Oakland Raiders cornerback who makes the play on Waddle for the safety, is still 4 to 5 yards away. And you would think that Waddle, who again is super elusive and super fast, he's ran a sub 4.3 40 time at Alabama before, you would think that he is elusive and fast enough and quick enough to, at the very least, get the ball out of his own end zone. But given that Brissett threw a very inaccurate pass that Waddle had to jump to make the reception for, Waddle had no momentum to do anything. Like, as soon as Waddle hit the ground and both of his feet were on the ground, it was over. It was a tackle, and it was 2 points for the Oakland Raiders. That's going to be it for today's video, guys. I just want to make a full breakdown on this one play that was so idiotic and that ended up costing the Miami Dolphins the game. I will probably make a video later this week about possibly Jacoby Brissett and the performance he had against the Raiders and dive into some other film from this game. But like I always say, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts on this play and any observations about this play that I might have missed. I would love to hear your thoughts about it in the comments below. With that being said, I will catch you later. Thank you so much for watching the video. Peace.